What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I'm super excited to get with you guys today because today is Hump Day. And when it's Hump Day, you already know it's the Sports Lounge Media podcast. And today, obviously, we have a new face in the building. But before we get to there, let's get our sponsors going. Mark?
Hey, so first off, we got number one sports fan located in Tulare, Visalia, and Hanford, California. Also, there's a location in Los Angeles. But then we also have Cali Built Graphics. Hit up Rigo here in Tulare. You can also hit up online. He can take care of all your shirts, hats, decal needs. Hey, if you guys even want to get a giant Sports Lounge Media logo on the back of your ride, let me know. I will send you the PNG just so you can have it taken care of down at Cali Build, and he'll get it put on for you. And last but not least, we have Brian Martino Construction. Hit up Brian Martino at brianmartinoconstruction.com, and he will give you $10,000 off give you $1,000 off any job, $10,000 or more. All three of those places, just mention the Sports Lounge Media, and they will take care of you. They take care of us. We take care of them. So thank you for them. And last but not least, of course, the biggest one of all, we are powered by the Mogul brand and the Diamond Collection. You hit them up on their website at powered by what, Mikey?
TMB.com.
There it is. So all your water needs, everything, just hit up that website, type in the Sports Sound Media for the promo code, and you'll get taken care of there also. So thank you to them, and let's take off with this.
Yeah, and I'm very appreciative to all of our sponsors. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring us. So much great things are happening within the Sports Lounge Media. We're covering all sports. Today, we're going to talk about the NFL and early predictions. But I want to introduce somebody. I want to introduce somebody that is a new member to the family that is going to be the rock to our I guess what would you say? The whip to us to calm us down and put us in check and keep us in line and everything else that you could say. I mean, I'm blessed, lucky, and fortunate to lock arms with this individual. This individual you will probably know from the TikTok world. She is a Birds fan. I know there's a lot of Birds fans coming up on here, but she is a Birds fan, and I'm so blessed, lucky, and fortunate again. And yeah, what's going on, Sarai?
Hey guys, so thank you for welcoming to this stream. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to working with all of you, and go Birds!
Of course, go Birds. Yeah. And before we get started, though, before Sarai takes over, Mark had one quick question to ask the panel, each and every one of us. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead and ask us that question.
Hey, so the big one that I want to know, obviously, we just had the draft this last week. And there was the biggest controversy that was going on. Not was the fact is that Shedeur was dropped all the way to the 5th round, which to me, I'll keep my comments to that. But the biggest one is the fine on the Falcons and the defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich over the infamous prank call. Now, just so you guys know, he was not the only one that was prank called. There was one other player from the same they believe it's from the same area code, but the Falcons received a $250,000 fine, and Ulbrich himself received a $100,000 fine because it was his 21-year-old son that admitted to calling them on the prank call to make him think that Shedeur was going to the Saints. So, I mean, there's already enough anxiety when you're getting drafted. But in your guys' opinion, do you guys think that was a fair punishment, or do you think it should have been, better, stronger, or more lenient? What do you guys think? I know what I think, and I'll tell you at the end.
Marshall, you want to go first?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of hit or miss because it's half of it is kids will be kids, but the other half of it is these are NFL players, these are their dreams. Like it's kind of messed up to even mess with that, right? I think a fine is serviceable. I mean, again, it's not like the coach had anything to do with it. The number was leaked somehow. That'll be probably investigated. But again, as you said, this is the only player that Abdul Carter got prank calls. And there was one other player that's been confirmed. I can't remember who, but there's been multiple players that have been confirmed for prank calls this draft. And again, you know, in a perfect world, yeah, it's messed up.
Mhm.
It's a frowned upon. Obviously, it's nothing illegal. It's nothing, you know, nothing like that. But again, it's a frowned upon situation because again, these are kids that are chasing their dreams, and for that to happen constantly, and you know, get a phone call like that, that's a moment you want to cherish. So
Yes, all right.
Yeah, so I think that the fine, I think it was a costly mistake that the son did, but I think it all goes back to the association with the dad. And I think that that information is basically, you know, kept in secret, or it's basically only given to certain personnel. And for it to be leaked out like that, it was something that definitely messed up like a lot of players' excitement, it seemed, especially when they kept getting all those prank calls. It was like, now do I answer it? Do I not? What's going on? So in fact, it kind of made like a lot of the NFL look a little bit bad too, because it was like, I think they need just a better way of getting the calls out to the players.
Yeah, 100%. What Tyler Warren was the other one.
Chuck. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And also Kim Pat Talk, who's a part of the Sports Lounge Media, says, "What's up, Pat Nation?" Down South says, who's also a part of the Sports Lounge Media, well deserves. Got to make an example of a grown man. Yeah. So this is the other thing is I believe the fine is the stepping stone of where it's gonna go. I think this happens more. Remember, we live in a society. You can probably see this on TikTok. You can see this on different other things. Like pranks is what's happening right now. You know, the last 5 years, this is not something that is different or normal. They are on Twitch. They're streaming. They're constantly trying to, you know, get clout and trying to get their name out there. There's a lot of things. This is going to be remembered for a very, very long time. And so they're trying to really just trying to get their name out there. And I think, like he said, kids will be kids. These kids these days are focused on streaming right now. They're focused on how to get my name out there. They will do whatever it takes, whether if it's good or bad, to getting their name out there. But I think this is a stepping stone of that's fine, and then let's see what happens next, and then it'll get worse after a while, right? So you know the suspensions and things like that, if it has to do with the inside, with the organizations or whatever, they'll handle business. But we live in a world full of pranks. We live in a world full of these type of things, and I think that's where Shedeur had a special phone, and that special phone still got leaked. You know, they found a way to still find that special phone to get the phone call from. So we just live in a world like that right now. Down South says confidential information was leaked. This was a big deal for both the player. It happened to 100%, man, 100%.
So
these kids not only got Shedeur's number,
leaked,
but you know what I mean.
Now,
it's
just so I'm going to help answer this question because everyone who has personal information for these players on his father. Are you guys there? Sorry, guys. Technically, okay, better.
No, it's worse. But yeah, guys, like as he's figuring that out, I mean, we probably will see more of this happening in the future. It just comes down to where they can get it under control. And I think that this was an example of that, of them trying to get it under control by fining and letting people know this is not something to mess around with. The other part of it too, I believe, is that, you know, these guys do work hard to get drafted. These guys do put in a lot of time, and to take away the ceremony, this is a ceremony. Think of it if it was your kid's ceremony, right? And they're going to graduate, and somebody prank calls them and says, "Hey, you're not getting your diploma today, so don't even show up to the graduation." You know, the whole family would be devastated. We're like, "What the heck? What's going on? What did they do?" You know. I know this is like a higher caliber. I'm just trying to use like a little smaller one, but I mean, at the end of the day, these guys work hard to get to where they're getting to, and when somebody leaks information like that and kind of takes away from the moment, that's huge, man. And I think they should pay for that for sure.
Okay, so hopefully this sounds better. Sorry about that, guys. It was not leaked. It was actually written.
You just look like a Chinese movie right now. So we can hear you, but like you move your lips and then your voice comes after.
Oh, well, it's going to be that way then. I guess we're just going to make it work for right now. I can't change that. Anyway, so the big thing, it wasn't that it was leaked. It was written down because the father left his iPad open and he was able to write these phone numbers down. And so that right there tells you, like, no, you have personal information. I'm sorry. You have something like this. Yes, our kids being kids, but to me, slapping the Falcons with the $250,000 fine, that's not a severe enough punishment, because $250,000 to an owner of the NFL, that's like $1 to us.
Right, but it wasn't the owner that was fined. It wasn't the owner that was fined. It was the coach.
No, the organization and the coach. The organization was fined $250,000.
It's like the coach too. It's not just the owner, though. That's not
to
a coach.
But now here's my answer. So yeah, the coach was fined $100,000. In my personal opinion, it should have been $100,000. Plus, he should have been suspended for a couple of games. I believe you have to set an example at the beginning. You can't keep doing this. Oh, we'll punish him a little bit until it gets so extreme. You end up with basically, I mean, sorry to put this in the same category, but what is it going to take for someone to commit murder for the fine? Oh, you're going to get punished? You know, you have Henry Ruggs, who was doing 120 for a DUI, killed somebody, and he's in prison. But yet they're speculating he has a chance to come back. It's like, well, yeah, he might have did his time. The same thing with Mike Vick. You know, you've had a lot of these people. It's like, no,
now hold on.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there with this. You have to make an example.
We talking about Mike Vick now.
If you're gonna make an example, you have to make the example at the beginning. You can't sit there and just let it be like, oh, okay, like I said, $250,000 to an NFL team, to an owner, to the organization. Bro, that's seriously, I don't even think that's $1, you know, to them, what it is to us. It's probably like a penny. Like realistically, $100,000 to the coach? Yes, no. You sit there and give him that fine at $100,000 and suspend him for a couple games. You got guys sit there doing something. It's like I'm not saying suspend him for a season, but you have to make a better example. That is my thought on it, because I don't think the punishments fit. I mean, or hey, yeah, give the fine, but you sit there. What you do, you tell that kid, hey, you're banned from our organization. Even though he's, you're not allowed at the stadium. Even though it didn't happen at the stadium, and you put a stipulation on the father, hey, you shouldn't be taking personnel information home. You want to work from work.
Yeah, I think there should be. I definitely think that there should be some guidelines on like where like personal information like that is kept, and where you separate work from like personal life. I understand that, but we're talking about a prank. Mike Vick actually, when we're talking about Mike Vick, that was a little extreme, because Mike Vick actually took the fault for his own cousin and did the time and came out and played football. Ruggs actually, that was an extreme. We're talking about a prank call here though.
But still, you're talking about people's dreams. Now think of it this way. There are people that struggle with certain things. And you and I are very much advocates when it comes to mental health. You got a big day. Shedor's projected to be the number one at the beginning. I've never thought he was a number one pick. I never thought he was a third-round pick. That's my personal opinion. But people struggle with things. That's all of a sudden, hey, we're going to sit there and take you next, but you're going to have to wait longer. That starts affecting people's mental health.
Right.
So you can cause the anxiety level. You have to put that punishment there.
Did you go to college, Mark?
Did I go to? Yes.
Okay. So I also went to college, and I can admit, and I don't know if you can, but I can admit that I've had alcohol experiences to where I've done dumb things, and I've done things to impress the frat guys, and you know what I mean. Like it's college. It's, you know what I mean. Like he's still at an age to where he may still be learning from his mistakes. I mean, we're not talking about a grown man at this point. I mean, we're talking
Now you're
about
21. You're old enough to drink. You're old enough to make those choices. You're old enough to deal with the punishment.
right.
And so you have to do a better example.
You're talking about dog fights and murders and this and that. We're talking about a college prank call.
But how long? But the big no, you're right. I agree. I agree. You do have this going on, but you have to do a better job, because how far does it go before it stops?
I think
well, yeah, go ahead. Sure. Sorry.
I think at the same time, for the son to have that comfort, even though, like, to not be scared to get caught, even though he was all related back to the coach. And I think, like, that in itself says that. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I won't comment on the print, because I mean, if my kid ever did something like that, I mean, my kid would never even have the thought to do something like that.
And they videoed it, so it was like
it was premeditated.
Yeah.
That's why, to me, the punishment, it's not like it was done as an act or like as a joke. This is, to me, this is not a joke, or it's not a prank. This is a premeditation. To take the time and stream it and record it and everything like that. No, you planned on doing this from the beginning.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple of people, and then we'll move on. Yeah, so we got a couple of people who agree with Mark. We're going to chime in on that. We're down south. I agree with Mark. Got to make an example. And then we'll move on after this last comment. It's borderline a fireable offense. Yep. And then also, I blame them both. The coach should have been more careful, and his son should have chose a distasteful prank. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on from that, guys. We're handing it over to Sarai. And yeah, take it away, Sarai. It's your turn.
Yeah, so that's a big topic, and I know we could probably last minutes, sometimes hours, just talking about this. I know we all just got through the draft. I know everybody was excited to see who their team picked. So I have a couple of questions, right? This episode is called Early Predictions. So I want to ask each one of you, when it comes to the AFC and the NFC divisions, who do you guys have as your division winners, and who do you have as your losers for this early start? We'll go with Mark first.
So we could start with the AFC North, and then we could just keep working our way around.
You want to go east, north, south, west?
North, south, east, west. North, south, east, west.
Okay, if that's how you want to go for it. All right, so north, I'm going to go with Baltimore. Then I'll probably say the Colts in the south. And then I got the Bills, and I have actually the Raiders in the west of the AFC.
Ooh, the Raiders. Okay, tell me a little bit more. Why the Raiders? Why do you feel that?
I think they made the right acquisitions. As for my thought, I didn't like the Genty pick personally. I felt they had enough at a running back. I felt they should have kind of taken a wide receiver, but I feel that they've taken and they addressed the wide receiver soon enough by the third round that they have the capability to have that threat. So now you have a strong back. You've got Pete Carroll, who understands and is basically going to turn Genty into a beast, a miniature beast mode, is what his main role is going to be. We know he can catch the ball, so he can come out of the backfield, everything like that. Because when your tight end is your top receiver, you have to address your wide receiver core. And I felt they did good enough with the O-line, plus adding, my guy, Dante Thornton Jr. out of Tennessee. You got a 6'5", 220-pound wide receiver that is run at 4.29 40. So he's got the speed. He has the hands. He was actually the top receiver out of the University of Tennessee. So I think they made the right acquisitions in the draft. And I just think that they can handle what's coming up. I think the Chiefs are going on a downfall, and that's everyone's going to say, oh, it's going to be the Chiefs until the end, until someone knocks them off. Well, this is the year. The Chiefs they're going to be lucky. I'm going to say this: the Chiefs are going to get 10 wins max. That's what I'm saying right now.
Okay. So you got all the winners from the north, south, east, west. What are your losers?
everyone else.
Okay. So let's go. Your winners for the North, South, East, West, NFC.
I'm going to go with Detroit, Tampa. I'll probably say the Lambs in the West, and the East. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to beat the defense, guys. Nobody's. I hate saying, because there's so many dang Philly fans on here. You know, I mean, it's like, guys, can we have someone else? But no, when you have a team, that, I'm gonna say this: when you have a defense as good as Philadelphia is, and the core that they have on offense, that team is. I think that team is going to be better than the Super Bowl champions. I really do.
Okay.
So
Fair.
that's my thought on that.
Awesome.
Gino gets over the hump with his cast. I agree.
I agree.
I do. To add to Mark, Jack Beck, another one of my favorites. He's a Philly guy. He's the guy that the brother had passed away before they had played together in high school and early college years. The kid's got something to play for. And as a third-round pick for the Raiders, I think he's going to be a great addition to Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, your guy from Tennessee. I mean, I think they really did kind of hit all them on the offense. I mean, Genty in the backfield again, Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch. I mean, it adds up. And I mean, I personally don't have them winning the division, but I think that they've definitely improved off of last year.
My biggest thing is, real quick, my other biggest thing is, first off, let's put some respect on Jack Beck. Like you said, he wasn't a third-round pick. He was a second-round pick.
Oh,
so let's listen.
I apologize.
Yeah, so let's make sure we get that one right. I'm like, no. The man deserves some recognition. No, I'm not joining the bird's nest down south. Ain't going to happen, but I'll be real with you. But no, the biggest addition for the Raiders was Pete Carroll. You're running Pete Carroll as a head coach, and then you add Chip Kelly in as an offense. I know Mike Chosen, he's not a big fan of Chosen, but and I know Marshall is not, but hey, he knows how to run an offense. He knows how to run that type of thing. And so I think with both Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly at the helm, I'm just saying those are big key additions. So I mean, the only thing that Mark Davis or whatever Davis he is Mark Davis still he's the owner, right?
Yeah.
The only thing he needs to do is figure out a new hairstyle. He figured out what we need to do with the coaching staff and things like that. So he just needs a new hairstyle, and I got the Raiders winning the West.
Awesome.
Oh, that's a crazy take, but I'll respect it.
Right,
there's nothing really wrong with Chip Kelly being an OC. Like for instance, like there's really good.
Wrong with a lot of things.
There's not. For me, there's not. I mean, my take is that there's some people that are good DCs and OCs, and they're just not really good head coaches. I think this is a scenario where you have a good OC, but he will never be a really good head coach. And it's similar to what's going to happen with Kellen Moore this year when you see him with the Saints. He's a really good OC for the most part, but him being a head coach, that's not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna work. And some people are like that. Look at Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh with the Jets, right? He's gonna go back to the Niners defense and watch what that defense is gonna look like.
Yep.
Like they have the Niners. I don't know if you guys have been watching the bets. Like I've been watching the odds. They have the Niners winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know if you guys looked at that yet. They're plus 250. I know it's crazy. I know that's crazy and everything. But what I'm saying is that the way that some people are just good DCs and OCs doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be great head coaches, and sometimes they're just great OC DCs. And I think that's one of those circumstances. And Pete Carroll will keep them in check and do what it has. I mean, I don't like Chip Kelly either, but I have to not be biased and not be so. I got to give the real, you know. That's for me.
So,
but
real quick,
yeah,
before you give us your take, real quick. Do you think that Chip Kelly does better OC in college, and that's why one of the reasons why maybe in the NFL he's not going to be as great, or do you think this year he'll actually prove it as an OC?
Thank you.
I think he developed. I I think he developed as a college coach to run a decent system. I mean, Ohio State wasn't looking to win the Natty. They weren't even projected to win the Natty, and they won it. And that you have to give credit where credit is due. It had to come from the OC. He's the one calling plays. And that's going to transfer over into the NFL. Now we got to remember, he's not walking into the stadium of Allegiant Stadium and saying, "Here I am, I'm the head coach." He's walking to the stadium and saying, "Okay, what do we got to do to win?" And working with Pete Carroll and them are going to have a game plan on to making that work. And I don't think that he's going to be spectacular. I just think he's going to be good enough where they're going to win some more games than they normally have. I don't think it's anything spectacular though. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now give me your takes.
Yeah. Winners. We're gonna go north, south, east, west, really quick, so we can get to Marshall. Winners. I got from the north. I got the Ravens. The losers. I got the Bengals. Winner from the south. I have the Colts. Losers. I have Houston. From the east, the winner I have is the Bills. Losers I have is the Dolphins, and from the west. The winners I have is a two-way tie between the I got the Chiefs at an A-, and the losers I have is the Broncos at a B-. But I mean, it's a B-. That's still a great draft. North, south, east, west from the NFC. Winners I have from the north is I have the Packers at a B, and then the losers is the Lions at a C-. The South, I have the Falcons. Or no. Yeah. Falcons as the winner. Losers is the Saints. They're the bottom. They're 32. Like, they're the loser of the whole entire damn thing. But the NFC West, I have the Cardinals at a B+, and then everybody else is a B. And then the NFC East, obviously, it was a tie between the Giants and the Eagles at an A-, and the losers were the Commanders. They didn't address what they needed to address, what we thought they were going to address. And, yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome.
Questions on any of that?
No, I think you covered it all. That was a quick one. Awesome.
So I do. So what's the actual question? Because Mark gave his division winners, and you're covering draft grades. So I'm confused on what I'm supposed to be responding with here.
So I was just asking what your AFC and NFC division winners and losers were. He kind of threw in the grade there.
Oh, okay. No. I just wanted to know what.
What
the question
we're doing division.
That's all I was asking.
You done messed up, man.
It's cool. I'll ride with it. The Ravens will win.
That's why when you said a couple of them, I'm like, all right.
Oh, okay. All right. I won't say the losers. I'll just go real quick. Ravens will win the North. Houston will win the South. Bills will win the East. I got the Broncos winning the West. And then the NFC North, I have the Packers winning the North. Falcons winning the South. Rams winning the West, and the Eagles winning the East. And my crazy take is the Commanders will be fourth in that division.
Okay. I still have the Cowboys at fourth. But
I'm not having this conversation again. We're gonna bypass that. Like, you just wanted to give Chip Kelly his flowers, but you can't give the Commanders theirs. Come on, bro. Let's move on.
What have you seen?
I'm not about to have that conversation.
What have you seen with the? What have you seen with the Commanders? What have you seen? What have you seen from the Commanders that tells you?
What have you seen from Chip Kelly?
Which question are we answering here? I just seen Chip Kelly
winning.
I just seen Chip.
I just seen Chip Kelly winning. Talk about giving credit where it's due. Let's give credit where it's due. They just went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they also didn't address what they needed to address on the offseason, and all the other teams have.
Neither did the Cowboys.
Dak Prescott is one of the best in our division. Number 3, the Giants upgraded their defense, and they don't have to do much for Russ Wilson to win. What else? What are we looking at?
They have to do a lot. They have to do a lot.
Okay, he defended his picks. All right, let's hear Marshall real quick.
We'll go north, south, east, west. Actually, in my opinion, I have the Bengals winning the AFC North.
Okay.
I have finishing last in that division, which is Cleveland. As in the South, I do have the Texans winning, and I have Jacksonville finishing last in that division. The East, I have Buffalo, and then I have Miami at the bottom. The West, I have Denver winning the division, and then I have the Raiders at the bottom. Going to the NFC side, the North, I still do have Detroit winning, depending on J.J. McCarthy, depending on a Jordan Love breakout season. There's a couple variables, but right now the Detroit's the team to beat. I do have Green Bay actually last in that division. But my sleeper there that could sneak into the playoffs or possible division win would be the Bears.
Okay.
I like what the Bears.
Wait. Hold on. Real quick. You just said with a possible division winner with the Bears?
Absolutely.
Are we talking about the same Chicago team?
We're talking about the same Chicago team that just had a great draft. Not to mention, but yeah, retooled their whole offensive line. They got a brand new young head coach.
That is crazy take, bro. If you're gonna say what you're gonna say about the Washington Commanders and they give credit to the Bears and say that they had an awesome offseason, that's contradicting yourself.
How is that contradictory?
Because you just said what?
Okay.
Hold on. Now, because my credibility is not going to be judged here. What I'm saying is that when their facts are the facts, the Commanders just made the NFC Championship. That is a fact. That deserves recognition. What also deserves recognition is the fact that the Bears just basically won the entire offseason. They won free agency because they retooled their whole offensive line. They get a brand new head coach. Caleb Williams in his second year. They're young. They're promising. They go in the draft. They get Colston Loveland, who was a top tight end in the draft. Another offensive weapon for Ben Johnson to use. They go out. They could go out and get Nick Chubb. Well, I mean, what else do they have to do?
Okay, I'm gonna real quick.
On paper, they are better. They are one of the better teams in the North. They are certainly better than the Minnesota Vikings and the Packers.
Okay, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say this because I have agreements and disagreements, but as for the Bears addressing what they've done in the offseason, they didn't address crap in the draft. Colston Loveland was not a person they should have taken when they still had Cole Kmet. He's young enough to still continue to play. Yes, you got a guy that's up and coming. Okay, in the second round, they took Luther Burden III to take the place of Keenan Allen. Ben Johnson is a rookie head coach. Caleb Williams is going to go into his sophomore slump. He already sucked last year to the point where he managed to get sacked all the time. I'm sorry. Caleb Williams is not the answer. Ben Johnson, you can't sit there and throw, it's like you think Ben Johnson, you're going to sit there and sprinkle a little fairy dust on this and say they have a possible chance to win the division? No, Ben Johnson is a great coordinator.
This is my rebuttal to you. Ben Johnson, last year, the Detroit Lions lined up two tight ends 73% of the time. Sam Laporta and Brock Wright. So what do you think he's possibly going to do with Loveland and Kmet?
I agree.
That he should have drafted Loveland when he has Kmet, when he runs that type of offense? Come on, man.
No, I know it's going to happen. But the problem that they have is not the offensive. They had the offensive weapons last year. The problem that they had.
They didn't have an offensive line last year.
So
they had a good enough offensive line.
They got a center. They got a center and two guards. But I mean,
they have Darnell Wright, who they just drafted 2 years ago, and Braxton Jones.
Okay, real quick. I'm a huge Darnell Wright fan. Obviously, he's a Tennessee Volunteer alum. I was very sad that he went to the Bears. I'm like, of all teams, you got to go to Chicago? Really? But my answer is this. The problem is not who they have for the offensive weapons. The problem that they have is Caleb Williams.
Well, we don't know that for a fact, though.
No, we know that for facts.
We
We
don't know that
know
for a
what
fact.
fact? Because he's
With
going to be the first
protection.
Bears quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards this season. You can clip that if you want to.
He can throw for 4,000 all the time. I don't care.
I'm just saying it's a potential. I don't really care at this point. It's a potential division threatening threat for the Detroit Lions. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, the
All
NFC
right.
West to finish mine. The NFC West, I do have the Rams still winning the division. Adding Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, you're going to have to prove me that you're better than the Rams. And I obviously have the Birds winning the East. So
Awesome. Yeah. So
who do
we
you
have a
got
lot
at
of.
the bottom? Who do you got at the bottom of the East?
we've already had this conversation. I have Dallas at the bottom. Dallas has done nothing.
Okay.
Dallas has done absolutely nothing. The Giants have improved their defense. They got a veteran quarterback. They went out and got Malik Neighbors' help. Then you got the Commanders, who Jaden Daniels is it, man. Until he has that slump, it's not going to be like a C.J. Stroud slump. He has a better offensive line. He has better weapons than C.J. Stroud did.
Yeah, I just think that when we're looking at things, it's like saying, like, for instance, the Chiefs are spoiled because they make it every year to the AFC Championship, and then they cannot have like a bad season because I'm gonna pick them this year. It's like saying you've seen them last year, the way that we BTA'd them, and they were winning games by one score games. What did they have? 9 or 10 of them, and then coming into this year saying I'm still picking the Chiefs because the Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship every single year. And it's like, no, Denver can't win this division. No, the Chargers are not going to get better and win this division because until they dethrone the Chiefs, I can't pick them. That's like, for me, that's just a crazy logic for me in my head to say that I cannot pick somebody because of what I see without the goggles on and say, look, they're actually a bad team. Travis Kelce gave up in the Super Bowl. They're not going to be as good as they've been. Like, and it's like looking at any other of these teams. It's like Ravens don't have an excuse that they need to lose this year because they upgraded. They got Mike Green and the Starks. Like they're the new Avengers. Like, you know, I can see these things, but like to say that, like, for instance, the Commanders, back to the Commanders, like just because they went to the NFC Championship, saying that they didn't address their 28 and run defense, don't think that everybody on the film is just going to run it down their throat. Like I think they are. I think people are going to score a lot on them, on their defense. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, this is way too early predictions, and we'll find out because the season is coming less than 90 days, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so let's talk about a little bit about the teams in the AFC and NFC, the ones that you guys believe won't be making the playoffs. So let's kind of scratch them out. Give me your best AFC and your NFC teams that aren't going to be making the playoffs.
That are
That
are
not
not.
making, that are not going to be making the playoffs. Who are we kicking out?
Like a team that made it last year that is not going to make it this year.
Right.
Marshall, go for it.
The NFC North is going to look a lot different than it did the last year. 15 wins, 14 wins for Minnesota, 11 wins for Green Bay. Chicago's certainly not going to have 5 wins. Or shouldn't, you know, depending on my predictions. But I think they look a lot different. I think that, you know, Minnesota going from what Sam Darnold did to maybe a rookie quarterback technically, they could look a lot different. You know, Detroit lost both coordinators. We as Philly fans know what that's like. It's not easy. And then they're in for a rude awakening. And I keep telling the Lions fans that. So again, when I say that the Bears have a chance, it's because there's so many variables that surround this division. And I think that, like I said, that division could look a lot different. And I could say that Detroit or Minnesota could be possibly out of the playoffs this year.
Okay.
What about the AFC?
So the AFC, I mean, somebody that made it that possibly couldn't make it, if you want my honest opinion, it's the Chiefs.
Yep.
I understand it's Pat and Andy and Pat, and I can write Andy on my left boot. I don't care. It's just they're not good, guys. They're not. They may be good, but they're not great. Let's just put it that way.
You think they're losing their spark?
I do. I think the dynasty's over. I really do. I think Patty's got the last man standing, and I think he will retire a Chief, and it'll be a hero riding out into the sunset type thing. But like his Chosen said, Travis Kelce gave up in the Super Bowl. He's getting up to that age. He wants to go start a family, go start a life, whatever it is that's distracting. But he's not the same. And I think that Denver has improved. I think the Chargers have improved, and unfortunately for them, the Raiders have even improved. So their division mates are up on the rise, and I feel that they're on the downfall. And it's just a potential situation that they could be out on the wild card this year.
Okay, awesome. What about you, Chosen? Tell me.
AFC. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Marshall on that. I think the Chiefs don't make the playoffs this year. I think they start to retool. Yeah, I'm gonna get them and only them. Shoot.
That's right.
And
you look at the AFC, and if we're talking about teams that made it last year, I mean Buffalo. You're talking about Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Texans.
I mean it's teams that are regular visitors. So it's hard.
The only other team I see is the Chiefs. But I also have a crazy pick. I'm gonna go with the Patriots to make it to a wild card last spot. They turned that franchise around. For the NFC side, I don't have the Commanders or the Bucks making it, but I do have the Falcons, and possibly my sleeper pick would be the Panthers.
I like the Panthers. But the Falcons,
I think the Panthers did well in the draft. I think that they covered a lot of empty holes.
Panthers did very well.
Yeah, and in the free agents, they got 4 really good wide receivers now. Chuba's.
Bryce Young ain't got no excuses this year.
He don't got no excuses either. So I got the Commanders not making it, the Bucks making it, not making it, but I got the Falcons and the Panthers making it, in place of them.
Okay, Mark.
I will say it's Pittsburgh is not going to make the playoffs in the AFC, and I don't see the Chargers making the playoffs. I do agree with Kansas City not winning the division, obviously, but I think no matter what, KC is going to squeak in, and but yeah, those are the big things. And I actually think so. In all honesty, I think KC will squeak in at like the 7 seed, 6 or 7 at best. But there's not going to be another 3-team, playoffs from the AFC West this next year. I'll tell you that right now. There's going to be 2. You're going to see the Raiders, and you'll probably see the Chiefs. So I'm saying the Chargers and the Broncos don't make it, along with the Steelers.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Mark, if the Raiders make the playoffs off of 4 wins, and that's your prediction, I'm gonna do something for you, because that's a hell of a. Hey.
I'm just saying to me, like I said, I feel they've made the right choices. I think with Geno there, with Pete Carroll there, everything like that. I think
they've
made
it's
the right
enough
choices
to go from 4 wins to 12 wins? Because that's what it's going to take to win that division.
I don't think so.
I just don't think it's that drastic of an improvement.
I think they've made drastic enough that they'll make playoffs. I mean, worst case scenario, but
you said that you.
But I do believe they'll. I think it's going to take 11. I think it's going to take 11 wins to make the playoffs to win the division in the West. I don't think it's going to be as good as everyone wants to say, where you have to worry about a 14, a 12. I said it's going to be 11 wins. It's going to be basically the NFC West like it was a few years ago, where you can barely finish above 500 because it is too competitive. You're playing against your division 6 times on the season. So I think that division is so competitive
one's
that
gotta
it's
win,
going to
one's
knock
gotta lose.
those people. Everyone's just going to knock each other off.
Yeah.
Not just that. They got to play the whole NFC East as well.
Exactly. So looking at the schedule, no, I think the Raiders can sit there and take that division. And I don't think, like I said, 11 wins is going to be max.
Wait, hold on. You said you have the Raiders winning that division?
I said it 4 times now.
Yeah.
I just caught it.
That's
That's
why I'm like, he's saying that improvement took them from 4 wins last season to what he's predicting at 11 wins to win the division.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, if that happens, we gotta send Mark some shit because.
Well, you're trying to say that. Okay, all right. Hold up. All right, okay, hold on a second.
I'll buy your Reggie.
Yeah, something, bro.
Right.
Like I'm talking about that's
the Raiders
bold.
win the division. I'll buy the Reggie White jersey. I'll buy
That's
that.
bold.
So I'm gonna say this.
The Raiders win.
I'm going to say this. Marshall, you made a comment earlier that said the Chicago Bears can possibly fight for a division. So you think they've made enough choices? Huh? You think
I don't think
that you're saying they did enough in the offseason to go from a 5-win team to winning the division? It's the same exact comparison.
They did significantly more than the Raiders did.
No, they have not.
Bro, who did the Raiders get in free agency? Who did the Raiders get in free agency?
You don't need to worry about free agency because they have enough
Yeah,
talent.
we do, because the Bears won free agency.
What?
They
Because
signed
they got
like
Joe
6,
Tooney?
7 players that are now starting.
Oh, come
Why?
on,
Because
man.
the Raiders got Genty and they got Jack Beck. They're now going to win the division. Come on,
No, I'm
bro.
not talking about
There's
that.
got to be more of a reason than that.
I don't say that they win division, but they do got Brock Bowers over there though. That boy nice.
I'm just saying this right now.
They got some running backs over there. It's not just
No,
Ashton
but I'm just saying, I don't.
All right, real quick. Hold on.
I gotta pause. No, pause. Hold on.
Yeah, I told you. See, look. I'm on the floor. Yeah, see, that's crazy talk, bro.
I'm saying Denver is going to win that division, but the Raiders will compete with the Chargers. I think they would compete with the. I think they will compete with the Chargers. The Chargers made some moves, and they may still go get Evans. Evans might. What's
Mike Evans?
No.
Mike Evans.
No, not Evans.
You mean Chris Godwin?
No. He used to play. They got rid of him, and he's gonna come back to the Chargers. Kalen.
You talking about Mike Williams?
No, Kalen.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Oh,
Keenan Allen. He might be on his way
Don't
back.
he can go back all he wants. That ain't gonna do nothing.
It'll give Herbert a little security blanket. It won't be like 10, 12 catches a game.
That's like having a giant bobblehead out there.
Nah, stop playing with us now. Let's move on to the next question, man.
Hold on.
We all have different
Let's move on
perspectives.
to the next question, man.
No. Hold on. Real quick.
You all tripping on tonight's stream.
I'm saying, bro.
I'm gonna say this. You're telling me that Olamide Zaccheaus is going to take Keenan Allen's spot, and that is going to be good enough to help and move them up that many wins for the Bears?
No, Keenan Allen might be
Keenan
on his
Allen
way
is
back
off
to
the
the
bench. He's a
Chargers.
free agent.
That's what I'm trying to say. Keenan Allen's gone.
Yeah, they replaced him with Luther Burden, a 22-year-old that just had 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's nice, but I don't know about that nice. I mean, he's
not
nice.
Keenan Allen nice, but they're comparing him to fucking Amon-Ra St. Brown, bro.
It's the Bears.
He's not
It's
Keenan
the
Allen
Bears.
nice.
There's a reason why the Bears blow.
Stop being a
I'm
Packers
gonna finish
fan
it with
for 5
this.
seconds. Stop being a Packers fan. It's the Bears.
No. I'm not being a Packers fan. I'm gonna say this. There is a reason why when you go to use a public restroom, you sit on the Chicago Bears logo because they are crap. That is all I'm gonna say.
We ain't doing that.
So we feel a little
That's all right.
rivalry here in the stream. So with that, I want you guys to tell me, who do you guys have for the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship for this next season? We'll go with Marshall first.
NFC Championship, I'm going to go what it should have been last year. Eagles, Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
There's only
Eagles,
two teams
Rams.
in the NFC.
In the link, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's
In
only
the
two
lane.
teams.
AFC. I have the Bills and the Bengals.
Okay. The Bills finally make it.
You,
Okay.
you love them teams with no defense, huh?
Hey,
You love them teams with no defense.
hey, Cincinnati focused. I think they both focused.
All right,
You love
let's
them
see what
teams with no
Chosen
defense.
has.
Me? There's only two teams in the NFC. Come on now, let's be realistic here. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Rams. Come on now. I mean, there's no
Okay.
other teams that could compete with them two teams. Right now, as we said. And this is way too early predictions, but right now where we sit, there ain't no two teams. This is healthy, all that. There's 4 teams though. I got on the AFC that could compete.
Oh.
Now,
Only
I'm
2 can make it. You got to pick
Yeah.
2.
You have to choose
2.
two.
That's it.
let me break it down. Hold on, wait a minute. Damn.
But by elimination, this is how we're
I said chosen. So I just said chosen, all right? Now, there's 4 teams that can make it. Okay. Ravens have no excuse. They should make it.
Okay.
Bills are gonna be there. Houston has the defense to compete, but I also am gonna go with the Denver Broncos. So I'm gonna say Ravens. I'm gonna say Bills. I'm gonna say Bills and Denver. I gotta see it from Lamar this year, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore is in it.
All right, can I switch mine up real quick? I did. I forgot about the Ravens.
Hey, locked
I forgot
in.
about the Ravens. Bro. I did.
No, you locked in.
No, I know. Ain't nobody said final answer. Nobody said final answer. All right. So
Let's go.
I would think Bills, Ravens, Bills, Ravens, and then Eagles, Rams. That's mine.
You know what? And to be honest, like last year, I said this on the stream. I said this to the guys. I said this to everybody. Like last year's divisional round or whatever round that was, when we played against the Rams and the Ravens played against the Bills, that should have been the NFC and AFC championship. I said it last year. Whoever wins those should go to the Super Bowl, right? And I think that's what's going to happen this year. Ultimately, is you're going to see 2 teams. The teams that should have been in the NFC AFC championship, that's going to be played out, and then they're going to go to the Super Bowl. It should be the Eagles and the Ravens in the Super Bowl, though. It should be.
Bills. I think it's
So
the
I
Eagles.
feel
Bills.
like March will kind of say Lamar's going to lock it up this year. He's finally.
He has no excuses too, but
No.
I just feel like I don't believe in him enough to really to be like all the way in with him. But he got. I mean, he don't got no excuses, man. You got.
Bro, them boys got 2 of our players in the draft, so
I mean, they don't got.
They can rot and die this year for all I care.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
We got the. Go ahead,
Give
Mark.
us your best shot.
Yeah, go
You got
ahead,
the
Mark.
Raider-
Let's make a comedy out of the show, Mark. Let's go.
You got the Raiders and the Jags in the AFC. Come on, say it.
No, I don't. No, it's come on. I'm not Dupree. Come on, man. And first off, I don't have Washington finishing.
No, wait, hold on. If Dupree was in here, which he is in the chat, if Dupree was in here, he would have said Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock are going for WrestleMania. Come on now, let's be realistic here. But go ahead, go ahead. Give Sarai your picks.
Buffalo, Baltimore, and Detroit, Philly. That's who I have.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it right now. And I'm going to say final answer, and this is going to be my choice for this season, and I'm going to stick to it to the day I die.
Sorry,
Buffalo wins their first NFL, first Super Bowl.
Oh, now you.
Who does?
Buffalo.
Yeah, we out. End the stream. We out.
All right.
Come on now.
I'm choosing. I'm serious. I'm choosing Buffalo to win the Super Bowl.
Is it in Buffalo or is it in the link?
It's a Super Bowl. It ain't ever in either place.
All right. Oh, you're right. I was just testing you. I was just testing your knowledge.
Come on, man.
Putting you on the spot.
It's going to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be at WrestleMania 52.
Who do you got,
Where's
Sarai?
the Super Bowl this year?
Who do
Where's
I
the
have?
Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, who do you got, Sarai?
For division, for NFC, I have the Eagles. The other one's a little tough.
Don't worry, we ain't gonna go in on you.
Yeah, I know. Right, we already heard Mark. We already heard Mark. We already heard
I
that.
do kind of agree with the Lions because I feel like that's an ode game coming through. But I'm not confident with the Lions this year, to be honest. And then AFC, I do have the Ravens and the Bills as well, with the Bills winning and kicking.
Now, why do you got the Lions? What do you see in the Lions that makes you believe now? Let me remind you, they got a new OCDC, right?
Yeah.
And they got to retool their defense. But I mean, that's not to change your mind.
I mean, we had to have new coaches this year too, and I mean, we.
I mean, you see what happened to us when we had a new OCDC.
Yeah,
that
was bad. It was bad.
He said, "I'm back on the floor." He said, "I'm back on the floor."
All right. Just so you guys know, like I said, my final answer, I'm dead serious. And Sarai just said, I'm going to say this. Sarai just said right now, she's got Bills going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
She just said it.
Right. But guess what?
I know she's going. I know she's a bird.
But she also will say that the Eagles are going to go too, right, Sarai?
That's right.
But she's not going to say that the Bills are going to win it.
That's because she's an Eagles fan.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think that game is owed, and it's been owed.
I think it's a BTA again.
Yeah, I think it's BTA.
I just don't have confidence in Lamar. Like he's
look. They can't even beat Kansas City, and we just did that to Kansas City.
No, jeez. Because they had to stop the script, bro.
I think one thing we all agree on is that
Guess
Kansas
what?
City is out.
Guess what? The Eagles, the new script.
That's right.
The new script is Eagles 3-peat. That's the new script.
No.
Oh wait, stop, pause. We ain't putting that kind of jinx on.
He wanted to throw a script out there, but might as well. I'm writing my own.
I apologize to the audience right now. That is not how we fly. We is not gonna put that kind of juju on our team.
No, they still gotta get to repeat before they can three-peat. So, but no, I like for reals. I have the Bills and the Eagles going to the Super Bowl. I'm with Sarai, but I'm taking the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is going to come home. He's going to play in his home stadium up in Santa Clara, and he's going to have so many people.
That's not even his home stadium, bro.
Bro, he's from our area.
Yeah, he's from Fresno, but he's not from the Bay.
He grew up a Niner fan, bro. That's his home stadium.
That's okay. He grew up as a Niner, but I mean, that's not his home.
If you get the chance to play where you're from, okay.
His home is Fireball, bro. He played at Reedley.
All I know is that if the Bills and Eagles go, it's going to be a great game, and I don't think it's going to be BTA, to be honest. I really don't.
No, I have the Bills, and that's my final answer on the season.
What's the score?
Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I don't see no more than 7.
Well, if it's close, you know what Saquon does.
You're right. I'm saying. Y'all already tried this. You already tried this last year. Guess what happened? All you got to do is stop Saquon. You know how many times I would hear that this year?
Shayshawn. Come on.
Shayshawn Barkley.
I ain't worried about Shayshawn.
Look. Here, hold on. Give me 5 seconds. I'm about to show you what's about to happen this year. Hold on.
He's gonna grab.
I'm not worried about Shayshawn. Yep. Just like I'm not worried about the Eagles secondary. That Josh Allen will be able to throw.
You better be worried about that.
No.
That's what's gonna happen.
Not worried about it.
You are. You should be, because they weren't worried about it then, were they?
I don't worry about things.
We don't give a damn. Down south, we don't give a damn.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, we kind of discussed early predictions. We'll see how it goes through OTAs. And
I'm gonna toss this one out real quick. It's gonna change the subject, but everyone predicted in the NBA, because obviously we have NBA playoffs going on. Everyone predicted the Lakers to win, but what's going on?
No, not everybody. Hold up.
I know. I was the not everybody.
No, I didn't say Lakers in 5. I wasn't on that train.
Yeah, I'm just saying this right now. You said 7, and I don't care.
I said Lakers in 5. I don't care.
What
What we talking about here? We're talking about the NFL tonight. Well, I
We
mean,
all talk about that, but I'm just stating the fact.
We'll do
Y'all
another-
sit
we'll
there
do
and say
another
I'm
stream.
crazy, but y'all think I make some outlandish statements. I'm just saying Minnesota's on the verge of whopping them in 5. And I'm predicting the Bills to win their first ever Super Bowl.
We're talking about 2 different sports. Come on, Mark. You're losing me now.
Well, that's the great thing about the Sports Lounge. We talk all things sports.
And he's locked in on his answer, stamped it and everything.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you so much, Sarai. Being a member of the family, appreciate you conducting and controlling. Thank you, everybody who has joined us on this live stream. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors and everybody that is tuned in to the Sports Lounge. Go look for us on www.sportslounge.media.com. Also on all platforms. Don't forget to follow Marshall, Sarai, as you see right there, on TikTok and everything that she does. And real quick, I want to take a special moment for her to just a little bit describe a little bit about her nonprofit before we head out, and we'll head out on that note. Go ahead, Sarai.
Yeah, so I am involved with a nonprofit called House of Heartland. And what it is we just do a lot of saving of abandoned dogs and rescuing, and we do a lot of fostering and adoption. You can always follow us as well, Hearts and House of Heartland as well, if anyone is ever interested in our rescue.
Yeah, and later on in our shows, we will have a QR code that you'll be able to tap in and be able to donate, be able to help. If you're in her area, be able to help her out with that as well. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody else. That back on the okay, I don't know what down south is on one right now, but we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week at the same time. Yeah, peace.